Chris Eubank Jr. and I guess Chris Eubank Promotions have signed a new 2-fight deal or partnership with Eddie Hearn / Matchroom Sport. So the little beef they had a couple months back after their previous deal had ended seems to have been squashed, and they're seemingly back on good terms again. Now, as I say, it's only a 2-fight deal. And according to Chris Eubank Sr., he would like a longer term deal with Matchroom Sport, but it's dependent on Eddie Hearn delivering him, or delivering his son and him, the fight that they want, which he claims is the Gennady Golovkin fight. They intend to have these 2 fights under this current contract and then see if Hearn can get them the Golovkin fight. If he can, then maybe they'll sign long term. If he can't, then maybe they'll go elsewhere. I don't know how much of that to believe. Do the Eubanks really want the Golovkin fight? Is his dad that deluded in thinking that his son is ready for Golovkin and can actually beat Golovkin now? You let me know what you think in the comment section below. So all this was announced at a press conference today, and they also announced the fact that Chris Eubank Jr.'s next opponent will be a guy called Tom Doran, and that fight will be on the 25th of June. Now, for those of you who don't know Tom Doran, he is an undefeated middleweight, British middleweight, 17-0, 7 KOs. His last fight was against Luke Keeler, and that was an absolute war, a shootout for 2 rounds. Both guys hit the deck multiple times. Now, as far as this fight goes against Tom Doran, I don't see Chris Eubank Jr. having that much trouble. Yes, Doran is undefeated. Yes, he showed some type of power in his last fight. Even though he's only got 7 KOs, his last fight, he did have his opponent down and did knock him out. But I think he's way too stiff and upright to cause Eubank Jr. too many problems. Obviously, he's going to come with a fighting heart. He showed that in his last fight. But I just think Eubank Jr. is going to be too fast, too explosive. The combinations are going to come raining down on Tom Doran. And as soon as they do, I don't see Doran lasting for too long. So I see that as I don't want to say a foregone conclusion, because anything can happen. And Eubank Jr. he's proven himself more and more as he goes along, but he's certainly not proven at world level quite yet. Okay, certainly not at elite level. So it's almost, I would say, a foregone conclusion against Doran, but you never know. I'm expecting Eubank to win in emphatic fashion, and I think this is a much easier opponent than even Nick Blackwell or even Spike O'Sullivan. That's how I see it. So let me know how you see it, people. How do you see this fight against Tom Doran? And what do you make of this whole Matchroom deal? What do you make of Chris Eubank Sr. saying that he will sign a long-term deal, or he may sign a long-term deal with Matchroom as long as Eddie Hearn can secure the Golovkin fight? Are they really serious about this Golovkin fight? I know that Eubank Sr. is quite a hardcore parent, and I don't necessarily, there's extremities and there's limits, but I don't have a problem. I'm from the old school. I don't have a problem with a dad being a bit hard on their son. Not in a horrible way, not in an abusive way, but, just making sure they toughen up enough and be a man. So he does seem to be that kind of parent, Chris Eubank Sr., with his son. But Golovkin, it's easy for Eubank Sr. to sit there and say, we're fearless and this, that, and the other. He's not the one that's got to get in the ring and face Golovkin. Now, don't get it twisted. Back in the days, Eubank Sr. might have actually got in the ring with somebody like Golovkin. Maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. Probably he would have done for the right money. But he's not that guy no more. He's an old man. He hasn't taken a punch in anger for decades. And as I say, it's easy for him to say this, that, and the other about his son. His son's the one that has to go in there, risk his health, risk his life against somebody like Golovkin. I wonder how his son really feels. Obviously, he's going to take a certain amount of confidence from his dad, from just being around his dad. And, the amount that his dad believes in him has obviously got an impact on him to a certain extent. But, you know, how much deep down of it does he really believe? Because he believed in his dad, I'm sure, or did he believe in his dad prior to the Billy Joe Saunders fight? And I've said on many occasions, and I still stand by this today, that Chris Eubank Jr. froze early on in the Billy Joe Saunders fight. And freezing is an indication that you don't entirely believe in yourself, because you're frozen. You don't really, truly, deeply, in your heart of hearts, believe what you're saying if you're freezing. Anyway, people, let me know how you feel and what you think about everything I talked about in this video. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.